away.
Wait, Nigel, 1 second. Nigel has interesting perspective because his artist is a major writer. He's written hits, but now has his record out, and they're going the independent route.
Yeah, I have an artist, Chris Eccles. We have a record on in 8 cities right now called Smile featuring French Montana. And we got our record on the radio through relationships. Alright, the music business is all about relationships. Alright, and the reason we, like, the first day we put the record on the radio, we got a call from L.A. Reid. He wanted to sit down with us. Jay-Z wanted to sit down with us. But my partners with Randy Parker, who used to manage Rockwilder in his prime, and DJ Clue. So their philosophy was, let's just put it on the radio. Let's constantly put it on the radio. Like, the calls are going to come because it's on the radio, right? So me being a branding and a marketing person that I am, I was like, let's approach corporate companies with Chris. Let's not just go directly to the record label, because if we could get Amazon or Google or even a MySpace to invest in his brand, we already have the radio, we already have the production, we already have the lyrics. All we need is the budget. Because going independent is not easy. You still need money. You still need to get in other cities, still need to shoot music videos. You can do it creatively and put it out to YouTube, but you still got to drive traffic. You know, sometimes you got to pay marketers to drive traffic to your site, et cetera, et cetera. But the radio is still the number one place where people hear new music. So getting on the radio is not easy. Payola does exist. But if you have relationships with the DJs, they will play your record for you. And that's what we built Chris's foundations on. Just strictly our relationships. So, no, we're not looking to go to a major label, but we need a budget to take his career to another level where we want to take it. So if a major label comes, we'll look at the situation. It has to be right. But also, we can get a branding partner, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. We'll definitely go that route, because Chris has not signed a publishing deal. We don't want him to sign a publishing deal. And he owns all his masters. So we can offer percentages of his publishing and masters to these corporate sponsors. So they're not only giving us a budget, but we're also giving you a product in return that you can constantly make money on for the rest of its life.
To piggyback what Nigel said, yeah, payola still exists. I'm sure everybody here has connections that could get music placed on radio or MTV Hits or MTV Jams. Just speaking on that, I feel like as more independent investors come in, more independent artists will come out, like Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, even though they got some help by Warner a little bit. But if you got the money, you're pretty much able to make stuff happen by yourself. But at the end of the day, record labels, record companies do have those resources and those connections to make stuff happen quickly. And so at the end of the day, yeah, the record label is going to be here for a while, I'll say, at least another 20 years.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. Majors are not going anywhere. But something you said, Joe, is to think outside of the box. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was knocking on labels' doors for years. And he was a singer-songwriter. So he started doing different types of festivals. He started doing places where they would have women would come and look for wedding dresses and stuff like that, performing like that. And one day an executive at Hallmark was in the audience, and he got a deal through Hallmark for putting his music in greeting cards. And then that's when the labels was knocking down his door, and he was like, nah, I'm good now. Just think outside of the box. You never know what would happen. He was the only person performing at these wedding, whatever you call them, festivals or whatever. And also I know a guy that He had some minor success in the 70s with a rock band, but it went downhill. But he's doing very well right now independently. He's got stuff on the Weather Channel, making money and just thinking outside of the box. He's making residual income. It's crazy. Just think outside of the box.
That's interesting. In other words, don't let your need to want to be heard on your radio and heard by your friends deter you from getting that money. In other words, your friends might not listen to the Weather Channel. And when you're getting your check, you won't care. I mean, I speak to publishers all the time. I work for a publishing company, and you have some artists trying to get out of their record deals because they're making so much money with their publisher, placing records in commercials and Walmart here and there. They're like, I don't even want to be an artist. I got to go on tour. They don't want to do it. So don't think that because you're not being heard by your friends that you can't make no money. That's a lot of times our problem.
That's another trick question. You know, majors aren't going anywhere, but they are transforming because, in my opinion, the record business started to decline in 1992 when the CD came out. Once it became digital, then they enacted something called the DART. It's the Digital Home Recording Act. And what that was supposed to do was to put a tax on home recording equipment, because in those days everything was reel-to-reel. You know, you needed, what, $60,000 to start a studio. Now you need $600, you know. So what's happening is the majors are not going anywhere, but they're changing. That's why there's 360 deals, because now they're saying, oh, we're not going to just give you a record deal. We want your branding. We want your first son. We want, we want everything, because that's their way of balancing out the inequities. But in my opinion, if they stop paying some of these executives $100 million and then say, oh, we're in a deficit. No, you're not in a deficit. It's the same money. You're just spending it all at the top, and the guy in the mailroom is making $20,000 and got 4 kids. So you think that record is going to make it out of that building? Hell no. So that's why bootlegging is so prominent. But the bottom line is, like you said, record companies still got the money. Independents are trying to make the money. So what's going to happen, and mark my words, in the next 20 years, guaranteed, because everybody's going to where the money is, right? So eventually they're just going to go to the banks, and there will be a Citibank Records, there will be Bank of America Records, because that's where the money's coming from anyway, right? So if they can invest in something that's going to make money, why not?
A MSG, because what it is everything that a 360 deal at a record label doesn't give you. Now today you sign a deal with the record company, a major, and they give you a 360 deal, but they're not promising to invest in your brand. They just want a part of it. So if you happen to be coupled with a headphone company, fine. If you did it on your own, or your manager that did it, or your agent did it, that's fine. They still want their money. This AMSG deal, what that is, the infrastructure of that in particular company actually is ensuring that they are investing in your 360 brand. They are actually putting you on to it. But we don't know that. We don't know that.
If I give you everything, I still want everything. You might have a good brand, but at the end of the day, it's a check at the end that need to be signed, dated, taxes need to be paid.
Sure.
And lazy people will take that deal.
Well, if a record company is going to take a percentage of everything that you do, yet not offer to do anything for you in those other areas, they're only obligated to put your records out, and even then they're not completely obligated to do that, right?
Exactly.
So what you're talking about is a company where the infrastructure is set up to deal in all of those aspects.
All right.
The
You
complete
get at the end of
360
that
and act.
dollar.
So fine, I'm happy to pay someone in all areas if they are investing their effort into making me money in all those areas. But if not, then I'm just giving my money away. If I have a really good manager who couples me with all of these things, I'm still paying the record label for something they really didn't do.
Can someone, you can take this question, because I'm certain some people are going, what is a 360 deal?
Okay, so before the 360 deal, if you were an artist and you were signed to a record company, the record company's job was to invest in the budget for you to record and to market you as an artist, right? What has happened, and I think the watershed moment is Mims. What was the name of that record?
This is why I'm hot.
This is why I'm hot. Now, what happened with Mims is he had a very mediocre record, right, in terms of record sales. However, he did $1 million in phone ringtones. He made $1 million in ringtones, and the record company wasn't entitled to any of it because it's a different market. So what the record company said, well, hey, if we didn't record This Is Why I'm Hot, if we didn't invest in your brand, you wouldn't have that deal. So from now on, we're going to write in our contracts that we want a percentage of your touring, we want a percentage of your marketing. So if you happen to go and get slick like Mims did and get yourself $1 million ringtone deal, oh, we're taking some of that too. You know, the problem is that I want this, but I'm not offering to get you a ringtone deal. I'm not offering to even try. Right? So you wanna be cognizant of those type of things.
I got a quick question for you. Now, I did records back in the days, right? Now, I had to figure out. I seen a lot of the records I did selling on ringtones, and back in the days, that wasn't in my contract. So I had to wonder, how am I getting paid off for that whole deal? And I still, to this day, was not able to break that down. So you think that you have any light to shed on that?
I mean, it really depends. If for example, you were creating original compositions, right? If these are original compositions, then most certainly from a publishing standpoint, and I think Kevin and Lance and the gentleman from ASCAP can back that up, you most certainly have a right to go after that money because they cannot mechanically reproduce your composition without paying you.
Oh,
Exactly.
no, I'm talking about, like, the ringtone sales.
That's what we're talking about. So in the sale of the ringtone, they have to pay the people who publish it. They have to pay the musicians. They have to pay a percentage of that sale to the people who own the music.
And it's a performance sale. I was going to say, somebody jump in from ASCAP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the gist of it.
Pay attention, y'all.
It depends on who was the publisher at that time.
Yeah.
Because the publisher is the controlling interest on the work. So the publisher, so as an example, just to go off of that subject, say for example, when they wanted to use Notorious in the movie, they didn't call you.
No.
They called the publisher. And the publisher granted them what was called the synchronization license to use that music. So what happens is, and we go through this all the time at ASCAP, someone will say, hey, my song was hot in the 70s, and now they're playing it over in Africa, they're playing it over here, they're playing it over there. ASCAP, get out there and go get my money. I'm like, nah, no problem. We got 480,000 members, of which 100,000 of them are publishers. It's the publisher's responsibility to go get that money. Period. And if Universal got a beef with Warner Brothers, we sit back and go, yeah, handle that. We'll do a court order and we'll freeze everything until y'all work it out. Period. Third party is not none of our business. So find out who that publisher is and contact him and be like, yo, you got some money for some ringtones and none of that funneled down to me.
There's plenty of money out there,
They'll be able to tell them this money is there.
Yeah, I'll also let you in on my days back at Polygram. I worked in the mechanical copyrights department for Polygram. And as I worked it, this is 1997, back when the mechanical rate was something like 7 cents, right? Motown, in particular, had $10 million in escrow for publishers that, for writers who weren't being paid their mechanical copyrights because they didn't start their publishing company like they should. So this might be partially your fault, guys. This could possibly be partially your
My
fault.
You asked that?
Possibly.
You asked that, Prestige?
Possibly.
BMI.
Oh, damn. I would have did a public.
Now you told me. Now you told me.
So,
Yo, I know I still got money out there, man. You know, it's just like, you know, you need money to get your money. That's the whole thing. That's what you gotta understand. You need money to get your money.
so when you think about the people, and I'm you know, me being a student of music and a fan, I looked through all of the records, and I'm looking at the original documents and saying like, wow. You know, I had some friends there were a rap group that was signed to Motown, Trends of Culture. They had money in there. I called them. I said, look, you Negroes need to go and get your publishing company set up because there's money here for you that you guys didn't get because somewhere along the line your business wasn't taken care of. You didn't set up your publishing company so that you can receive your publisher's share.
A lot of people don't know what the hell a publisher is.
That's
Exactly.
and that's the unfortunate part.
That was my main reason for creating my own publishing company, because there were other people that were affiliated with the song that had major publishers. I wasn't signed to a major publisher, so technically those major publishers weren't representing me. They were representing the major artists that had contracts with them. So if I didn't go and take care of my business and do my homework and study publishing and create my own publishing company, I wouldn't have been able to get the other half of the money that was due to me. It would have still been sitting there in an escrow account
Well,
with no claims.
Yeah, no claim.
No
See,
claim.
Here's the catch. If she didn't start a publishing company and say the record's hot, she got $10,000 on the writer's side. And then she said, oh, sweat, wait a minute. I could have got another $10,000 as a writer. And, oh, I need to join. You join ASCAP. You're ASCAP or BMI? Oh, my man. We bought the whole team. Anyway.
Hey, I'm switching.
Yeah, we got you. What would happen is we would only go back on that publisher 6 months back, 6 to 9 months back. So if that money was prior to that,
You lost it.
yeah, because we didn't have the right to represent you as a publisher. From what I hear, BMI, they kind of will lump you, but it's always good to have your own publishing, because what happens is, say Pepsi wants to use your song in a commercial or something, they're calling the publishers, not you as the writers. So you would get that phone call and you're like, yeah, I'll take the $10,000 for that sync license. You're working up the deal. You get the sync license, plus you're getting money.
And whatever you work out is independent of what the other publishers work out.
And you have the right to negotiate the amount of money, because just because Pepsi, Coca-Cola called or whatever, and they say, okay, I'm offering 60,000 to utilize it or whatever, you can say, no, that's not enough. I want 80, and then send it back. And then everybody else that's affiliated with the record got to agree to the amount, and then that's when the money will go out. So you have negotiational power in that sense as well.
And in your sync licenses and everything, I had a situation doing some publishing for a jazz artist, Babs Gonzalez, you might know him. His song was used in the Iron Giant movie, and they were just sending in, residual royalties. And I said, well, his catalog was signed over to my friend's parents. I said, well, did anybody call you and ask you, was that price all right for the sync license? And he went back and got another $45,000 after it was out and in the movie. So, Be in Control, another friend of mine, Fam, did the Hey Mr. DJ. I was at ASCAP for a meeting dealing with something else. He had $18,000 just sitting there. He had this guy's broke. He's hit. And I'm calling like, yo, Fam, it's $18,000. And I should have signed him, got me a little percentage of that. See, that's what we're talking about. But I didn't. But we're gonna wrap it up now because we have to give out our free gift bags from our sponsors. We have Jermaine Jones is going to be our special guest performer. I just want to give a shout out to Joey. Make sure you guys, we have his card in our free bag. And I just want to let you know also that Savage Sounds was very nice to give everyone here 40% off of recording and mixing services. So hold on to your card. One of the questions was going to be, but we were kind of running out of time. We don't want to hold the store. Is how important is your mix? $600 you can come in here and you think you're an engineer. You see what I mean? So the mix is important. If you're really taking your craft serious, you know, you might want to invest some money in going to a studio and getting it mixed properly, or at least letting them hear it, analyze it, give you advice, and make sure your mixes are correct, because they are listening for that. I want to thank the panelists personally for coming out.
Go ahead, Keith.
I wanted to bring you up, Brock, because Brock has, he's now the president of Shadyville DJs. Big responsibility. He's been coming to the panels and been in support. I mean, he can't help us now. You know, he's got, well, how many DJs you guys got over there? 50, so he's in charge of 50 DJs. So if you know any DJs that are serious and take their craft serious and get booked, do their thing, this is the man to see. Also, graduated school as an engineer, you know, with honors. So it's important. A complete branding package. His rap album is incredible. I mean,
One thing real quick. Don't try to take the short route. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Go spend the money with this gentleman to get a proper beat, because for real, this is what I try to tell everyone I work with. It's not about how dope your music is. It's not about that. Everyone on this panel right here has got to get paid through the music business. So if you make your own beat, you rap, you do the engineer, you promote, you do the pictures,